Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular presentation, which is for advertisement regarding the books that will be on sale starting next week, we do not intend, brothers and sisters, for this to be long, but we hope and pray that you all do support the channel. We hope and pray that you all do support the books. Comment, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. Share it, if you will. Alrighty. Brothers and sisters, let us get into this with the time allotted. And we are going to pull up the PowerPoint with the share screen matter, if we will, brothers and sisters. And let us get into this particular matter. How is everybody feeling? If you can hear me well and if you are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Thank you. If you can hear me and if you are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Alrighty. I'm going to stop my particular camera, and so like that the presentation itself will be shown. Shalom, brother Yirmiyahu Yisrael. Alrighty, we're going to pull up the PowerPoint in this particular matter, slideshow from the beginning, and we read here, giving honor to the Creator of heaven and earth. This presentation, a promotion video regarding the books, which are normally $30, are on sale from June 19th to the 30th for $20. One can contact me at 908-587-4841 or YYISRAEL22 at yahoo.com. That is the email. Alrighty. So let us continue in this particular case with the time allotted. A lesson on June 19th and the Danite logo. Happy post-Memorial Day. Let us go over 12 presidents who are honored. History Not for the Novice series. Channels that it will be on is More Yeshaya History Lessons and More Yeshaya History Lessons 2. There are 2 different channels, and it will have the presentation on those. From Washington to Grant, over 100 years of ownership memorialized. Reach Yeshaya at WhatsApp 908-587-4841. Care to donate? Cash App, $ Frank Son, the number 1. That is $ FRANKSSON, the number 1. All right, so let us continue, brothers and sisters, in this particular case. Next slide. Oh, Danite logo, Danite Publications. That's the website if you care to go on it to see other presentations, if you care to see other writings that you can sit there and see for free, and if you care to donate, and if you care to sit there and buy any of the books. All right. Egypt Talk in Writing. This book explains that the Bible, namely the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, are not a copy of the Egyptian culture. The book examines the claims made by many scholars, and the author, using both biblical and Egyptian writings, along with secular sources independent of the Bible or Egyptian writings, shows that the Torah is not from Egyptian culture. The book also explains the history of the Israelites in the Exodus. Shalom, my love Sarai. How are you feeling? If you can hear me, brothers and sisters, please type in the number 4. If you can hear me and if you are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Thank you. So this book right here that you see, Egypt Talk in writing. Did the Torah come from the culture of Tameri? Now, this cover was made by the people who are online, Bayith Mazan, with the permission of my lady whose picture is on the bottom left-hand side of it. On the bottom right-hand side is a picture of me. That's when her and I was inside the Egyptian Museum, brothers and sisters. All right. So this book also explains the history of the Israelites in the Exodus. If the Exodus and if the Israelites being in Egypt is made up, then brothers and sisters, the second book of the Torah is a lie. And when people began to sit there and try to say such was the case, and not being in my feelings, but being raised in this since I was a child, not to be self-centered, talking about self and my upbringing, I felt it necessary to really tackle this particular subject. So I began to read about Dynasty 19, Dynasty 18. I began to read about, brothers and sisters, the matter of the Hyksos prior to that in Egypt, and found out that there were co-regencies in Egypt, brothers and sisters, as well as times in which there were more than one pharaoh on a throne. So that shortened the length of time that is generally given by some claim as Manetho, some claim as the Abydos list, the Saqqara list, and so forth and so on, which is actually detailed in this particular book. All right. Normally, this book goes for $30, but starting on the 19th, and understanding of Juneteenth, and I'm going to explain why I do such in a minute, this book, normally $30, will be available for those who want it for $20. That will be available online on Amazon for such and other platforms. If you want to get it directly from me, I do not charge for shipping and handling. Why? Because what is the incentive if I charge for shipping and handling like everybody else does? What's so special about Danite Publications if I got to try to sit there, I'm going to get the little $3 and $4 out? Yeah, no, I'd rather you pay the same regular price. I pay for its shipping to you, brother or sister, and then you, if you're comfortable with it, let your friends know, let your relatives know, let your coworkers know, let your whoever know, you understand? And let him or her buy it as well. I think that's a better way as opposed to trying to bank on one sale with a matter and it be a matter of shipping and handling. Where's the incentive? You understand? Now, some people have actually said to me, brother, you celebrate Juneteenth? Don't you know the history of that? Yeah, very well, not to sound arrogant. I know that when the month of June came in 1865, many of our people were proclaimed free. But some of our people in captivity did not know that the proclamation was made and were in the state of being as enslaved way past the year 1900. What does, not make it minuscule of our history, what does that have to do with not trying to reach our people when the attention span is there? Just like I promote things regarding history and the timing of what you call Black History Month. See, Israel, we have to get, and I say this in no disrespect, maybe outside of camp doctrine. What do I mean by that? While I came from or through a camp is this. We meet only on Shabbat, where we do no work, and then we wonder 10 years later why nothing has progressed. Because perhaps you met the only day in which you can do no work. And I say that in no disrespect. You understand? Brothers and sisters, the Maccabees. Later on, the Sicarii. Later on, the Ebionites, the Zealots. And brothers and sisters, later on, the people known as the Sadducees and the Pharisees. These were different groups of Israelites later on in history that were involved in certain things. They were aware of the world that was going on around them. So, no disrespect intended, just as much as Hanukkah or Hanukkah is a man-made day, so is Juneteenth. And Hanukkah doesn't apply in history to all Israelites because many of the Israelites at the time when Hanukkah happened in, brothers and sisters, the 2nd century BCE, many of the Israelites was already outside of the land. So the that the Maccabees set up, when they reclaimed the things that happened and the articles that happened to be stolen from them by the matter of the Greeks. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a time to reach our people, brothers and sisters. You understand? So let us continue and see what table of contents this book is. Egypt Talking Writing. Introduction, Joseph and Dynasty 12. Dispelling some misunderstandings and lies. Debates in Israelite perception. Recap and synopsis. Israel is not from Isis, Ra, and El. History to be noted and understood. Questions posed to brothers and sisters. A Hebrew speaks on Black history. Egyptians, Israelites, and Greeks. Torah comes from Ma'at? Question mark. Pictures and notes. Afterword and conclusion. Videos for videos for further information. Acknowledgements and bibliography. Appendixes. Pictures of me and my lady in Egypt. So, brothers and sisters, this is something that if you're interested, you can get this book online. Starting what they refer to as Juneteenth, which would be quote unquote next Monday, the 19th of this month. This book will be on sale instead of $30 online or $30 in person. It will be available for $20 for those who are interested as a book sale promotion. Deuteronomy 28, verses 15 to 68. History untold to the masses. This book explains the history of the people who eventually became the Israelites. This explains how Israelite culture, the Torah, shows one to be accountable. Case in point, you should not covet. That teaches you character. Get your own. You should not covet anything that is your neighbor's. That teaches, again, as we were just talking about, character. Get your own. Don't sit there and want somebody else's stuff. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Do you know people who have too much time on their hands? Whether you're working with a company or you're working on your own company, or people who do not utilize their time constructively, have a mindset that can lead to criminal mischief. If you are about handling your business, you don't have time for that kind of foolishness and that kind of ridiculous stuff. So 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. That is not, brothers and sisters, an opinion. That is a commandment. So we want to point that out for edification purposes. All right? So let's go on. The verses of Deuteronomy 28 is explained in detail and how it relates to the ancient Israelites and modern Israelites, the so-called blacks. The book refutes the claim that the Egypt by ships was fulfilled in the era, that is to say in the time frame of Titus or Rome. So this book, brothers and sisters, available online, currently for $30, but will be available for online for those who want it, starting June 19th all the way to June 30th, will be available for those who want it for $20. Again, if you order it directly from me, by contacting me at the number, I'm going to put it inside of here, all right, 908-587-4841. All right. If you get it through me, through that way, there is, again, no shipping and handling fee. All right, so let's see the table of contents in this, brothers and sisters, as we close out this particular promotion video. Table of contents, history untold, like history untold to the masses. Introduction, brief history of Israel. From Sumer to America. Brief history of Israel, part 2. Deuteronomy 28, 15 to 68. 12 tribe chart. Extra notes on the subject of history. Appendix A. From Sumer to America, part 2. Appendix B. Deuteronomy 28:68 extended. Bibliography and acknowledgments. Pictures relating to the chapters. So, brothers and sisters, this book is over 300 pages. All right, for those who are interested. Again, you can get this book online. All right, starting next week, June 19th, it will be available for $20 instead of $30. All right, in that particular case. Now let's look real quick, if we will, brothers and sisters, right? At the laser pointer. From Summa to America. From Summa to America, Part 2. There are 2 appendix matters. Extra notes on the subject of history. I think, and it's not to boast my own self, that chapter, which is chapter number 6, is, if I may say what some rappers say of their own rhymes, I couldn't believe that it was done. I thank the creator of heaven and earth to be able to have the patience to gather the information and to put it in type form and then to have it edited and then bring it out to the people. These books intended is to live longer than myself, and I have no intention, creator willing, to leave this earth anytime soon. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, in this particular case, this is the table of contents concerning this matter, and there are pictures for those who are interested in it and so forth. All right, next part. From Assyria to America, Part 1. This book explains the history of the Israelites from the era or the time frame of being in Egypt, the Exodus, the external writings supporting the biblical narrative. Those notes about the Israelites in Egypt in this book is not the same notes of the Israelites in Egypt that we talk about, brothers and sisters, in this book, Egypt Talking Writing. All right? It's not contradictory, but it's extra notes that I didn't have inside of the Egypt Talking Writing book. So I just want to point that out for edification purposes. All right? So let's look at this, brothers and sisters. The book explains the sad subsequent captivities of the Israelites from the Assyrians to the Americans. So from Tiglath-Pileser all the way right down to George Washington. All right, let's go on, brothers and sisters. Table of contents from Assyria to America. Introduction from Egypt to America. From Avaris to Alabama. The Romans and the Israelites. How to teach Deuteronomy 28. From Ghana to Georgia. From Dahomey to Delaware. From Nigeria to Niagara. From Madagascar to Manhattan. Conclusion, bibliography. This book is over 400 pages. Again, this book is available for those who want it online currently for $30. If you want it after that, June 19th all the way to June 30th, there's a sale book promotion in a commemoration of Juneteenth, brothers and sisters, where the book will be available for $20. So I want to point that out for reference purposes, if we will. Now, let me explain something, please. Avaris is now known in Tamil as Tel El Dab'a. All right. And in that case, we're talking about where the Israelites was inside of Egypt. Alabama, why do I point that out there, brothers and sisters, is because that's where the last slave ship went. And there's notes in it about that. The Romans and the Israelites, detailing everything from the matter with Pompey all the way down to the timing of Hadrian. How to teach Deuteronomy 28. This chapter of the book, brothers and sisters, gets into Hebrew about what he kamaratim, and you shall devote yourself, you shall sell yourself. The word Mizraim in the matter of it being from the word matzor, which comes from the word matzer, which comes from the word zarar, which comes from the word zar. Zar means trouble. And it gets into the linguistics of such. From Ghana to Georgia, brothers and sisters, like one of the longest chapters in that book. All right, over say 80 pages or so, talking about the evidence of the slave trade. The fact that the slave ships used to go from Jamaica to Virginia and back and forth, Barbados and New York and back and forth. That's what that in part gets into. From Dahomey to Delaware, and I say this in no disrespect, I think is one of the saddest parts of that book, because in that particular part is where I show the pictures of what they used to use on us as a people in history. How they used to use a mask in slavery with a lock, with a clip on the back, so you cannot eat what you grew. from Nigeria to Niagara. Niagara, brothers and sisters, is in upstate New York. Nigeria, many of the captives that came from there were the Igbo or Igbo people. Do you know that they were in sometimes shipped as captives to the place called Georgia? And then from Georgia was reshipped to a place called Manhattan? So this leads to the next chapter, from Madagascar to Manhattan. When the Portuguese, working alongside in part with the British, will sit there and go all the way from Madagascar under South Africa by, say, the Indian Ocean, if you will, and then going all the way up through the Atlantic and having people brought to what today we call Wall Street in Manhattan. That's what the book gets into in those chapters. Then there's a conclusion and a bibliography. Let's go on, brothers and sisters. In closing this out, giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. Get my lady's book, a book of poetry. This is the book my lady Sarai wrote. We are asking you all to get her book, a book of poetry. Price is $20. There is no sale on that regarding a discount regarding Juneteenth or so. All right. I only do that with the books that I write in that particular case. So we want that, brothers and sisters, to be pointed out for edification purposes, if we will. Brothers and sisters, I would like to, if I may, all right, ask everybody here if you can hear me, and if you are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. If you can hear me, and if you are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. I'm going to read the table of contents of my lady's book, Demoralized, Black Man, Redemption Song, Demonstrative, Little Kevin, Don't Touch Me There, Negro Woman, Mother's Love, Cornbread Fed, Color of Revolution, Black Beauty, This Time Around, Misery, Feeling for You, Feeling for Me. To get the book, one can go on Amazon or contact at yeshsarai@yahoo.com. That is YESHSARAI at yahoo.com. All right, I'm going to type in the email that her and I have. Yesh Sarai, right, at yahoo.com. My lady wrote in Toda Rabah for Sharon Adoni at Mora Yeshaya, heart sign. Yes, much love to you too, my lady. It is incumbent to share what we have, brothers and sisters. I'm inside of a text group, and every time I get in there, I try to let it be known and ask people, how's your book coming along? When the Romans came in, as pointed out in the book, from Assyria to America, they tried to destroy all the Israelite records that they could. Even the citation that we as Israelites use in Tacitus, where the Romans apparently thought the Israelites were of Ethiopian stock, Ethene, ops, from the Greek meaning burnt face. That's what they also said of the Israelites. Brothers and sisters, do you know what that same historian Tacitus said about the culture of the Israelites? That is boring, tasteless. They have no images up. No, Caligula, your image ain't coming in the temple. No, Nero, your image is not coming in the temple. And after the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, the Israelites were still fighting. 70 AD is not when Israel fell. It's when the temple fell. Israel was still fighting all the way into the timing, as pointed out in the book, Deuteronomy 28, History Untold to the Masses, which you can get as advertised here online, all the way into the 2nd century CE or the 2nd century AD. You understand? Against Trajan. And then later on against Hadrian. You can get that information in that. So, brothers and sisters, you can reach out by that email, yeshsarai@yahoo.com, or by the number 718-864-3125, or the number 917-463-8149. The link to such is in the description of this video. And I understand that this video is on 3 different platforms. It will be in that particular case. Brothers and sisters, giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. Thus ends this presentation about the matter with June 19th and the sale on such. I ask you all to subscribe to the channel. More Yeshaya Torah lessons, more Yeshaya history lessons, more Yeshaya history lessons 2. June 19th, Creator willing, there will be a history presentation, and it's not to sound grandiose or conceited. It is notes that we have never gone over before. What I did was use college reference material and dug into the information to bring out, while naming it Happy Post Memorial Day, when they give honor to the people who were soldiers. While Grant, who was the 18th president, had slaves. Lincoln's successor was a slave master. Lincoln's wife, Mary, was the daughter of a slave master. And in the book From Assyria to America, all the 12 presidents who were slave masters are detailed in the number of slaves that they had. And a place called Mount Vernon is where George Washington and then later on Thomas Jefferson had. James Madison High School, Monroe Institute. These places are named after slave masters, brothers and sisters. Shalom, family. Please subscribe to the channel. When the video is up, the link to get my lady's book, brothers and sisters, will be in there. All right. So I'm going to, brothers and sisters, turn on the camera. You can get my lady's book, which is right here, brothers and sisters. This book is a little over 2 years old in publication, and it speaks to the mind, as the title suggests, Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul, in and out of time. Some of the poems are happy, some of them are sad, and none of them are fake. Brothers and sisters, this book here, Egypt Talking Writing. We already went over the table of contents of such, for those who are interested. Deuteronomy 28, 15 to 68, History Untold to the Masses. This book right here you can get online as well. Different cover, but same book. From Assyria to America. You can get this book as well online, brothers and sisters. And this is part of it, inside of the book. What I try to do with this is make the font larger, because people say sometimes they only will buy it if they're able to read it in a certain way. I was, brothers and sisters, on the channel going to tonight get into the presentation called From Jerusalem to the Hood, Part 5. But we're not going to do that tonight. We're going to postpone that for reasons and a brother needing sleep, to be prepared and well alert for the next working day. That, I think, is a wise decision. And we hope and pray that you all enjoyed this presentation. We hope and pray, brothers and sisters, that everybody is well and will be better. Giving honor and praise unto Yah, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. Everyone have a good night. We hope and pray. On the human level, giving due respect to my lady, Sarah Michaela, giving due respect to Elizabeth Victoria, Giving due respect to the brother Yirmiyahu Yisrael. And anybody else that will hear this now or later, much respect to you all. We ask you all to support the channel, buy the books, whether you want to buy it now or buy it from the 19th to the 30th when it's on sale, your decision. Thank you for your support and your patronage. And also, if you do buy it online directly through Amazon, I ask you, if you have the time, leave a comment, because sometimes they ask you, what do you think about the product you bought? Please, I ask you to sit there and leave a comment concerning that. Have a good evening. Shalom, family. Tune in, brothers and sisters. Throughout the course of this week, we do intend to go over the presentation From Jerusalem to the Hood, Part 5. Shalom.